Crawford Spence update. What is it?
Yeah, I do, Max. I mean, this has been going on forever now, but I'm told that Spence and Crawford have been talking directly over the phone, trying to see if they can salvage this somehow, some way, without the promoters and networks involved. And I'm told that they agreed on a purse split that they both find fair, and that after that, Team Crawford sent over a memorandum of understanding to PBC earlier this week. So, again, I fully expect Errol Spence to push forward with that fight against Keith Thurman, and now Terence Crawford has a mandatory that was ordered to fight Alexis Rocha to keep his title. But at least there is movement in the background, and if not now, maybe hope for the future.
See, when I hear something like that, and by the way, I'd like to extend, once again, Al Heyman has an open invitation to come on this show. When I hear stuff like that, if it doesn't get made, I do look at the PBC. It makes me think if they can't make this now after the fighters are independently trying to work it out, right, that they don't think their guy can win. Spence thinks he can win because Spence is a real fighter. Terence Crawford thinks he can win. Why? What is getting in the way of this fight? Well, according to your reporting and analysis the last time around, it was, things coming from the PBC side, not being transparent, not giving Crawford a deal that anyone would sign, right? So hopefully this is a step in the right direction. What's the latest on...
What's good, family? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Wow, this is, we've allegedly got Tank versus Ryan Garcia. But that, for me, this isn't that. Spence versus Crawford is the fight of the century. I'm trying to think, what if you could make any fight, what would it be? I hate to say it, but it's along Spence and Crawford. You've got Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. That's up there, but them two aren't Spence and Crawford. Why? Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney don't have the power. Errol Spence has the power. He punch you up. He might not have one punch knockout power, but he stopped dudes who had never been stopped before. Kell Brook, Ugas. You got Terence Crawford out here just smoking dudes. This is it, people. I hate to say it. This is the fight of the century. I put Spence versus Crawford above, much further above than Usyk and Fury. Usyk and Fury doesn't really do it for me, even though they're supposed to be heavyweights. I think Spence and Crawford is more of the heavyweight fight than Fury and Usyk, for what it's worth. In terms of athleticism, Fury, can he punch? We don't know. Usyk definitely can't punch. These two dons, it's finger-licking good. And I'm praying. I have to salute both men, assuming these reports are correct, of course. It could just be cap. Yeah, these kind of dons, they go on these shows, and sometimes they just capping. If it's cap, then it's cap. But if assuming it's true, I have to salute both men. Because there's absolutely no pressure to make this fight. As I've been saying, these clowns can continue making millions fighting bums, as we've been seeing. What I will say is, though, what does worry me is the classic fight building scam I've exposed for many years. Yeah, what worries me is we know Terence Crawford just got a bum fight announced against some bum. I never heard of the guy. I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know how these random clowns get into mandatory positions. Like, for example, if anyone should be a mandatory right now that comes to my mind, it's Jaron Boots Ennis. I don't even know how good he is, but you know what? He's the biggest name. Put him in there. How has some random cornball got a mandatory against Crawford and not Ennis? I just don't get that. I don't get it. And it happens every time. Every time these dudes are fighting some cornball. Every time. You can bet your bottom dollar on it. A mandatory that no one ever heard of. Meanwhile, people, it's a bit like, well, I guess in a way, Lomachenko. When Lomachenko was reigning, Devin Haney was knocking around. He was never a mandatory. I guess in the end, Teofimo Lopez got a shot, but do you know what I mean? It's always, I don't know what it is. There's always these random dudes that no one ever heard of getting mandatory shots. It's really irritating. But where I'm going with this is that I am worried that we know the Keith Thurman fight versus Errol Spence, ain't no one trying to watch that one. Keith Thurman he can't even beat an old Pacquiao. In fact, he got dropped by an old Pacquiao 5 years ago. Yeah? An old Pacquiao rocked you to your boots 5 years ago. What makes you think you're going to go in there with Spence? So again, what worries me is that these guys know, Crawford definitely knows his fight versus the man. I don't even know the guy's name. My point is, these guys know, Spence knows, Crawford knows. Really, for the most part, ain't no one trying to watch the fights they're about to make. Hence, what do we know? What have all these guys been doing for the longest time? Tyson Fury? Oh yeah, I'm going to fight Usyk. Just watch this fight first. David Benavidez for a long time. Oh yeah, I'm fighting Caleb Plant. I'm fighting Canelo. Just let me get through this guy first. And Benavidez and Plant. To be fair, Plant fought Canelo, but Benavidez, he was fighting bum after bum after bum. Every time, same as Tank Davis, same thing. Oh, I'm fighting Devin Haney. I'm fighting this guy. I'm fighting that guy. Bum after bum after bum. Is this a tactic to build the Keith Thurman and the random dude, the mandatory fight for Crawford? And the reason I say that is, a lot of news articles have attached this news update with the upcoming fight of Spence and Thurman and Crawford and the random mandatory. So I'm sitting there thinking, it's a little bit suspect. Why is everyone, wait a minute, you've just told us that Spence and Crawford are about to get it on. And yet they're plugging this Spence and Thurman thing. No, I get it. In principle, well, YB, we've just got to get past these fights. But that's always the way, innit? It's always just one more, and then we'll get to it. Let's not forget, people, with all due respect, I remember Terence Crawford saying, yeah, just let me get this warm-up with Avanesian, and then I'm ready to go. Wait a minute, you just had the Avanesian warm-up, and now you're about to have another one. And then we get the Spence fight, allegedly. Now, in all fairness, Spence, he's been sitting around doing nothing for God knows how long. He does need... That Thurman fight will be a good warm-up. But still, you know what I mean? It just drags things further out. Further down the line. But unfortunately, people, as boxing fans, we are what we should call cucked. We ain't got no choice. The only choice we have is to grab our ankles and hope they pop us. And hope they use some lube before they pop us. Because they be popping us anyway. Yeah? They be popping us, giving us the crap fights we don't want anyway. So the best we can hope for is that we get a little piece of 2-2 lube before they pop 100%. Because we've been had our ankles grabbed. It's a fact. Yeah? And it makes me wonder, like, these cornball governing bodies, why is it these corny governing bodies can order Crawford versus some random dude that none of us heard of, but they can't order Crawford versus Boots. They can't order Crawford versus Ortiz. They can't order, better yet, Crawford versus Spence. That's what I never got, people. Yeah, in the laws it says unifications supersede mandatories. So why is Crawford's WBO, or whoever it is, telling him, yeah, you got to fight a random dude and no one ever heard of? Why aren't they saying, listen, Crawford and Spence, I don't know what you man got going on, but if you want to hold these belts, we've come together and we're ordering this superseding undisputed fight, unification fight, next. Crawford versus Spence is next. And it's a 50-50 split effort. Yeah? It's a 50-50 split for the first fight. 2 fights have been ordered. Because I believe the loser deserves a rematch. It's 50-50, the winner gets 65-35. Or 60-40, or whatever you want to do with it. Yeah? Simple as that. Because we know there's going to be a loser, so that's how the winner will benefit. Or, better still, in fact, the best, I think this is even better. The governing bodies order Spence versus Crawford, and they say it's 40-40, and the winner will get 20. That way, you get it how you're living. If you want to win the fight, you will get 60%. No man is guaranteed a bigger slice. The winner The man who wants it will get paid more, which really is how it should be. Like in this day and age, ever since Floyd changed the argument to A side, B side. Well, really, it should be who getting it and who ain't getting it. Do you understand? If you're in there getting it and winning, you should get the biggest slice. I don't care if your name's bigger. If you've got a big name but you're a big pussy, I ain't trying to hear about it. You need to be paid more. Do you understand? Too often, for too long, big overpaid pussies have been getting paid. Like Anthony Joshua. He's been overpaid too much for bad results. Not good. These guys thought it was a joke. Oh, we just turn up and have a sparring session and get paid a whole heap of money. You're robbing the bank. Yeah? It's too disrespectful to the sport. Just to turn up, have a sparring session. When you're being paid life-changing money. Well, you're being paid multiples of life-changing money. And you're in there just flip-flopping around. Nah, get out of here. It's a disrespect to the men who have been paid relative peanuts and left it all out there. Do you know what I'm saying? Nah, that don't sit right with me. Anyway, why is it, little me, random dude, why is it I can think of that? But these governing bodies, time and time again, keep throwing in these corny looking ass mandatories. I think Avanesian might have been a mandatory as well, you know. I think he was. I think Avanesian was a mandatory, people. Now, in all fairness, I can't lie to you. Before the fight, I thought Avanesian would be better. Well, I didn't think Terence Crawford was as good as he is. That's the truth. I thought Avanesian was pretty solid, but yeah, Terence Crawford tore that ass up. You best believe it as well. Terence Crawford tore that ass up. So, I guess that's okay, but still, it's not the point. Yeah? Even though I thought Avanesian was okay, he's not a Boots. He's not a Virgil Ortiz. And I wonder to myself, why does Stanley Onus and Ortiz have to fight? But this dude who about to fight Crawford now, who's he for? You know what I mean? It's not what? Like, where are they doing this at? Time and time again, these random ass dudes be getting mandatories. Meanwhile, Boots and Stanley Onus and Ortiz, dudes who have a better claim, they have to fight each other, and it's all odd, isn't it? Mandatory. It's become a position of schmucks. I can't remember the last time a genuine contender mandatory was there. It's just a whole bunch of guys just hanging out. I can't explain it, people. I really can't. I can't explain the logic at all. They're not making the champions fight each other, and they're not fighting the champions fight the best. They're not making the champions fight the young, hungry bulls. It's like the WBC with Tyson Fury. Why, all due respect, yeah? I'm not sure who Tyson Fury's next mandatory is, but I'd rather see Jared Anderson. Yeah, I want to see Jared Anderson, big, young, hungry bull, in there with Tyson Fury. I ain't trying to see Tyson Fury with whoever else. You know what I'm saying? Put him in there with him. Make the fights that are explosive. Instead, we're hearing people like Mahmoud Char and these old heads that's been hanging around. Old heads. Full of old heads. Anyway. I mean, again, like I told you, we are cucked as boxing fans. We've been grabbed our ankles. So, for what it's worth, it's not bad news, is it? Spence and Crawford talking. I'm just hoping. Make it all public, bottom line. Yeah? Now, don't get me wrong. If these guys think they can get it done, but if there's any hiccups, just do things publicly, man. I remember last time, it all fell apart. Terence Crawford come out 4 months late. Oh, back in August, this was happening. Listen, it's no good telling us after things have failed. People need to, if you've got issues, make it public today. Because that makes people address it. Yeah? If Terence Crawford says, listen, we've agreed to a split, but this is missing, and it's something that's quite reasonable, that then puts the pressure on Team Spence. And it works the other way. If Team Spence are offering fair terms and Crawford's trying to do whatever, Errol Spence should disclose it. Listen, we've offered you this, and you're trying to be a movie star, and you want this. It's the public pressure that makes things happen. If you hide in the dark, if you keep things in the dark, it won't happen. Because people can hide in the speculation. But like I've been saying, maybe that's what they want. Maybe Spence and Crawford want endless speculation and endless fighting bums. Which has been happening. Yeah? Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let off the bell 100%.